The plunder dummy is back. Now we'll be playing the first game as black and let's crush Namit. Okay, so white to play, white can play G3, the king's pawn, king's pawn G2 opening. We just take out our knight. Our opponent plays C4, the English. What we gonna do is play the symmetrical variation in the English. He take out his knight. We also take out our horsey and he played e3. All we have to do is to play d6, opening up the sniper bishop. Now our opponent to think and play. He can play the bishop out, his knight out, so he choose to take out his bishop. What we can do is take out our e6 pawn. The main idea is to open up our bishop to e7 and castle. He continue with bishop to g5 and then we play bishop e7. Idea is to defend the pawn. He continue with e3 and then we go with castling, protection. Obviously protection is very important, so we'll look after that. He'll develop his pieces and what we may do is continue with x6, try to attack his bishop. If we take, we also take and open up this diagonal. So he go with castling and what we can do now is strike the center. Other than that, queen to c7. I would say let's strike the center. It's a good time. He take, pawn take. If the knight take, then the bishop take on it. If the bishop take, then we have to take out the knight there and continue with our game. So he continue with rook b1 as a very strong defense. We'll play d4 and attack the knight. He take it. I take it back from the pawn. He take out his knight here and over pressurize. So basically if I take, the knight come here, over pressurizing. Bishop taking on the knight will be an option. So let's go on with knight take on d4. We can play rook b8 and also continue with our game. So over here bishop take as the response, creating pin and the central bishops. These are very powerful. So I'll take my bishop towards the center. That's it. He continue knight b5. Now what we may do is protection. So we'll play bishop e5. And then the move like a6 can be played for attacking the knight. Other than that, rook b8 is a very reasonable move which has to be played. Okay, so f4 for attacking the bishop. So we may simply move the bishop even backwards to f6. Rook to b8 is a very important move because the bishop diagonal is open. So he go with king h1. All I have to do is play my rook to b8. If we go in capturing, then rook here, knight take on bishop. So it's better if I play bishop e6. And if we try protecting, then I can play rook here and still attack this way. So this is the plan. He play a3. And here we'll trap his knight. Queen b6 and that's a knight trap. So my opponent would try his best taking out the queen, try to protect his knight, and hence we'll try to attack the knight with our rook and all. Other than that, you can, okay, queen a4, as I told, I can even take out my sniper bishop there, and guess what? That's also a queen trap. No, the queen can come here. Ultimately, I would get that knight. So all this for a knight. The queen comes here is the way. So maybe I could have played rook here as a best option. Queen coming to b5 can be played. I'll take, then queen take on the bishop as an option. Otherwise, I could. That's even better if I trade. Because after taking, knight will take, bishop there, rook here, and I take it. So I feel that this is also a very good game with bishop here. He can play queen. I'll trade. After knight take, bishop here. So I find this position as a very flexible one. Anyway, so my opponent resigns the game. Alright, so let's have a game review. Okay, so we have the game review. Let's see how much I scored in my paper. So in my examination, I scored 86.3% with one great move and a rating of 2200. So let's start the review. My opponent played the King's Fianchetto opening and I open up the center. Now d3 was an inaccuracy, obviously, because he has played g3 for a reason. So he must develop his pieces and castle. This is the main objective of King's Fianchetto opening or the English opening. Now this is what he is missing up. He is playing d3 and we'll take out d6. Bishop g2, e6, and we are just opening up our pieces. And here comes the great move from right hand side. Obviously, if we move the bishop in any of the squares, in fact bishop x4 and bishop f4, these are the available options. If we play to bishop x4 or f4, anywhere, all I'll do is I'll go with g5 and that's a bishop trap. So ultimately he has to give up the bishop. So that's why bishop take on f6 was the only move available. And after I trade, I get a very sharp bishop attacking this way, such that I go with d5. Now this is an inaccuracy. Although my plan was simple. Pawn take, he'll take. If the knight take, then bishop take on this. This was one of the ideas. Now what he played was rook b1. Now instead he could have captured this from the bishop and I would play knight here, figure out to attack this pawn and this bishop. This would be the plan. Now here I push the pawn forward, increase the control of the center, followed by knight b5, bishop b5 was played. Now there was another good option to develop, and that was playing rook b8. So in my video I was telling about playing rook b8 at later part. So I could have done that at the earliest. Anyways, f4 is a mistake and then I play the best move. Now over here, knight take on a7 is a mistake because I could have continued with the move bishop to f5. Bishop f5 would attack this pawn along with the queen. Okay, so that's why. And my plan was simple. I was protecting my bishop, taking out my queen to attack the knight. That was the plan. So I played bishop e6 for attacking this pawn. He played a3 and that was a blunder, and that's what I did. Queen b6, ultimately queen a4 and bishop b3. Now this was an inaccuracy. Instead I could have tried rook a8. Ultimately I could have easily gotten that knight. Now if bishop comes here and he played the best move, that is queen here, I would simply take knight take, bishop here would attack the rook and he try anyway for protecting. I would capture this, attack the rook and the knight.